Imagine a 90s boombox that only plays MIDI files, and then stop imagining because you are looking at it. The Roland MT-90s. I picked it up recently and I wanted to show it to you because honestly, it's really, really weird and in my opinion, really, really cool. It runs off floppy disks, which if you are from the before times, you will recognize, and we'll go into that in a bit. For now though, let's hear it in action. Here it is, playing some righteous jazz fusion from Japanese legends Cassiopeia. I mean, come on, I love that. That kind of 90s plastic general MIDI sound that is admittedly kind of crappy, but also uniquely charming. And MIDI is a format that lives on. I mean, if, like me, you're a musician, you may well be using MIDI in some shape or form every single day. Just not necessarily like this. Alright, let's take a deeper look at some of the functions on this glorious unit. So here we have our beautiful Roland Music Player MT-90s, and please check out that gorgeous 90s font, very 90s indeed. So we'll click it on, and the first thing you're met with is this display, which if you're at all familiar with Roland 90s synthesizers might look quite recognizable. It's a very similar readout. Obviously it says no song because we don't have a disc loaded. Let me grab one here. We have the Falcom SC88 collection, which has a bunch of tracks from games like East on it and other assorted greats. We'll pop it in. A bit of clunk click as it loads.
A few moments later.
There we go. The first track on the floppy, Fina. It's listed as being in 4/4 with a natural BPM of 120. So let's go ahead and hit play, hear what we can hear. Beautiful. I should say at this point I am running this through the aux cable to my my interface just so I don't have to mic up the speaker. The speaker sounds great though. It's really beefy and bassy. And of course we can adjust some of the more precise settings on it. Now, isn't that beautiful? Now, let's go into some of the detail here. I should say as well that I am operating without a manual here. I got this in its original box with various bits and pieces, but sadly, no manual. So, you know, I got this like 10 minutes ago. I'm just trying to work it out. These buttons here are fairly obvious, or at least some of them are. They isolate the different sounds within the MIDI file. So we can strip it back just to the drums. Add in this lovely pan flute, shakuhachi type sound, and the rest. I'm not entirely sure why these have a left and right hand on them. I'm going to have to sit and work that out. Or indeed, if anybody watching this knows, please tell me. Because, oh shit, that's loud. Because yeah, I'm new to this. Some of the other stuff on it we have here includes a repeat function, AB marker, there's a metronome, which would probably be best used, I guess, if you're using this for karaoke, which I recommend, or indeed any other number of musical applications. The world is your oyster. Let's hit stop for now. So if we want to skip on to the next track, we notice this kind of, well, it looks like a track skip button here, but actually what we want to do is make sure we have our arrow pointed at the track name and we can whiz through with these various buttons. Let's give this one a go. I haven't listened to it yet. Oh, very nice. Summery vibes. Perfect for a beach episode. Now let's have a look at some of the other stuff here. We can see the triangle is now beside the beat counter, and we can adjust the BPM down to a sludgy vaporwave crawl, or pump it right up for bizarre nightcore antics. Let's return it to a more sensible tempo. And yeah, that's the basic operation. I mean, there are other functions within here. You can see it says SMF lyrics, and I know that on the official Roland SMF discs, they were included with lyrics, which can be displayed, again, for karaoke purposes. And there's plenty of other stuff on it too. There's reverb built in, actually 2 different types of reverb. There are some other cool stuff which we'll get into later. But that is the gist of how our lovely MT-90s works.
So all in all, it kind of does a lot of things, or rather, it does one thing in a lot of different ways. Maybe that's the best way to put it. But what can you actually play on it? I mentioned that it runs on floppy disks, glorious little tangible pieces of plastic and metal that contain just shy of 1.5 megabytes of data, and that's where the MIDI files live. This is the disc that it came with, called the Roland Music File MT series, and if you're curious, the catalogue number on that is RJY0013, in case you want to try and hunt it down yourself using the power of the information superhighway. It's got a bunch of MIDI tracks on it, and honestly, they're not all to my taste, but it's a lovely, interesting artifact to have. I love that I managed to get the unit with the original disc, and there's even an extra bonus surprise. If we take a look at the disc's packaging, we'll also see that it comes with a guessing note game, which is something I really wasn't expecting. It involves working out or guessing the name of a note or chord, and it's really unique, to be honest. I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite exactly like this before. It also runs on a bunch of Roland pianos and synthesizers too, which is a cool bonus. Roland also released a whole bunch of albums and collections on MIDI floppy disk, and genuinely, they're really cool. One of my total favourites is the Japanese Fusion collection, which is the music I really listen to a lot of the time anyway. Volume 1. I haven't been able to find out if there was ever a Volume 2, 3, 4, 5 or beyond that. It might just be the one, but it rips. And they did a ton more as well, you know, from anime stuff to jazz to pop to classical and way beyond. It's quite a library, and I really recommend doing some internet digging to check it all out. There's also stuff like the Konami MIDI Power series, and these are really cool. I love the kind of sexy, dangerous, but understated artwork on these, containing MIDI files that celebrate some of their various games. But the problem with these artifacts is that they are both rare and very expensive on eBay and Reverb or wherever else they turn up. But thankfully, even though your computer at home, if you have one, might not have a floppy drive, you can easily buy an external one dirt cheap. I mean, I had this lying around anyway because I released an album on floppy disk many moons ago, and I wrote all the copies on this little floppy drive. But you know, I think I got this for like 10 quid or something or thereabouts. It's very cheap. I mean, it doesn't feel particularly hardy, but it does the job, and it means you can write your own floppy disks to play on your brand new old Roland MT-90s. In terms of acquiring floppy disks, they're pretty readily available, and again, they're not too dear. Now, I got very lucky in that a friend texted me saying that he had come into a treasure trove of floppy disks, and did I have any reason why I might want some? Honestly, that is what set me off on this MIDI boombox journey in the first place, because who am I to turn down a shitload of free floppies?
That belongs in a museum!
So I've been having loads of fun writing floppy disks, obviously, and listening to them at top volume, but I also discovered something kind of exciting that I wasn't really expecting. When you flip around the unit at the back, it has a MIDI import. This opens up a whole new world of fun, and you can use websites like chiptune.app to check out a load of MIDI and pump it directly into the back of this lovely device. And being somebody that makes music for a living, I naturally wanted to see what my own music would sound like in general MIDI form through the lovely Roland MT-90s. And it's got one more lovely feature. Right beside that MIDI port, you might have noticed another input where you can plug in a microphone for the world's worst or best karaoke experience ever. It's also got no fewer than 2 different types of customizable reverb on board, and that's another example of the care and attention that has gone into this admittedly niche product. And maybe that's why there is so much care and attention, because it is niche. It's niche now, and frankly, even when it came out, I suspect it was niche then. I mean, I was little, but I was around in the 90s, and I had MIDI files on the computer and stuff, but I don't think I would have entertained the notion of a MIDI boombox when, you know, I could listen to the real thing in a number of ways. At least I wouldn't have entertained the notion until I became a grown-up man, a weird grown-up man who wanted, perhaps needed a MIDI boombox. And I'm delighted that it exists. I'm going to get countless hours of joy out of this thing. And I love even just getting to talk about it and nerd out about it. And the final thing I want to talk about is a bit of unexpected human history that came with this unit. I mentioned earlier that included was the original Roland music disc that was released alongside the unit, the official disc, but there was another disc inside the unit as well, this one right here. Let's take a closer look. We can see that, much like the discs I've been making myself, it's a home-written floppy disk, and it's got a few tracks on it. It's got Move It, Johnny Be Good, Blue Suede Shoes, and Roll Over Beethoven. Now, presumably, this disc was made by the original owner of the unit, clearly a 50s, 60s rock and roll fan. And I love that this is with it. I mean, I'm not going to listen to it much. I listened through it once. But what I really love is that this is a really personal time capsule. An insight into the mind and the likes of the original owner. And that's just kind of really special to me. It's the same thing when I buy old synthesizers and I find the sounds, the patches that the previous owner has made themselves, connected through MIDI. I hope you've enjoyed this dive into an extremely singular piece of 90s music hardware history. I mean, I've said it already, I love this thing. It's sleek, it's stylish, it's niche to the point of being downright weird, and I've loved being able to talk to you about it. I'm Alpha Chrome Yayo, or ACY, and if you've enjoyed this video, please smash the prerequisite buttons until they are nothing but a fine powder. When I'm not doing dorky stuff like this, I'm probably off making music for video games and the stereos of cool people, and I have vibes for every mood. If you want to check it out, you can do that on Bandcamp. Just head there, search for Alpha Chrome Yayo. I also recommend that you play Promise Mascot Agency, which I was lead composer on. And if you have a cool project that needs vibey sounds, hey, you know where I am. Hope you have an awesome day. Bye.